I'm going to show you how to unite two colonies. It's fairly simple. But first of all, I want to show you this. This is what I use. You can just basically put a sheet of newspaper over the queen excluder when you're combining hives. I find it easier to use this. I just cut a bit of 1/4 inch ply, cut a square out. The outside is the size of my hives. Cut it out maybe 3/4 inch wide. You could cut it out 6 inches wide, it wouldn't matter, as long as you've got an area in the middle for the bees to go through. It doesn't really matter. As I say, I find this easier because you stick the paper to it. It's a bit windy now, so it stops it blowing about. If you put a newspaper on the hive, you can be about to lift the one you're combining on top of it, and it blows up and you start faffing about with it. So I just find this easier. You put this on top of the queen excluder, it sits there, and then you put your other colony on top, and it's a lot easier. So I'll explain about the hives when we're going to do it. What I want to say is, one of the hives I removed the queen today. Now that hive I'm going to put on top of the other one. I find it easier if you put the queen right colony on the bottom. That way you know the queens. You always know the queen's in the bottom hive. It's got the queen excluder on top, so it's not going to be anywhere else. If you put the queen right colony on top, when you come to unite, you don't have to go through the boxes to try and find it. If you can't find her, you're a bit stuck. You've got to try and find it to put in the bottom box. It's just a bit of a pain. So put your queen right colony in the bottom, your queen in the bottom brood box. As I say, the other one, I removed the queen today, 2 or 3 hours ago. So that hive's, it'll know it's queenless now. They won't be starting to make queen cells yet, but it'll know it's queenless. So we'll give it a go anyway. We'll get suited up and go in. I'll explain as we go along. Okay. Right. This is the queen right colony. This is the queenless colony. So that one is going to go on top of this one. Now what I did this afternoon, as I say, I removed the queen out of this one. And what you want to do, because you're only lifting the brood box, you're not lifting the floor, if you just crack the brood box from the floor so it's separated, then when you come to lift it, you're not lifting the floor as well and having a bit of a faff trying to get the floor off. Make it easy for yourself, just crack that, separate your floor from your brood box, and then it's easy to lift. So I'm not going to bother with the smoke. You don't need a smoke. You don't really be going into the hives much. There's 1 or 2 bees still flying about, but they'll find their way into the hive later on. What you find is the bees, any bees out of this hive that are still flying, they'll come back. There'll be no hive there. You could put a nuke there to collect the bees, but there's no need. They'll go to the next hive along. They'll fly about and they'll go to this one, and they'll come to beg their way in. And because they're full of honey, they've just been out foraging. They're full of honey. They'll get accepted, so they'll go into this hive where they're going anyway. So there'll be no problem. They won't lose the bees. There'll only be a few flying anyway, so they'll be all right. So what we'll do, we'll remove this lid. Take that off. A few bees on top there. We'll just. Oh, what you need to do as well, don't forget, when you do put your newspaper on, if you put a sheet of newspaper on, or you do it like this, just put a couple of little tears with your tool, with your hive tool, just a couple of little slits in like that. And what that does, it'll let the pheromones through from the queen below. Another good thing about using the queen right colony on the bottom, when you sit this on top, obviously heat rises, the pheromones will rise with the heat, the smell will go through. It just helps the bees from the colony above it. They'll get the pheromones coming through, and they'll find the way. They'll chew their way through the paper, and they'll be accepted. No bother. There shouldn't be any fighting at all. So what we'll do, we'll take that off. Take the crown board off. newspaper on top. And that's it, that's the hive done. Right, so we'll come to this one. This is one we're going to combine. They're both 40 by 12 these, by the way, both jumbo hives. 14 by 12s, both with supers on. So what we're going to do, it doesn't matter if there's a super on there. We'll just put the brew box on top of the super. I'll explain what we do after that once we've got it all together. So all we're doing really is roof off, pick up the brew box, sit it on top of there. So make sure we leave the base below. Now, if you go over here, there's quite a few bees left on the floor here. So what we'll do, we'll just take the crown board off here. And we'll just shake those in. That's those bees in. Crown board back on. And that's it. Roof back on. And that's it. So, as I say, queen right, brood box, queen excluder, super. It doesn't matter. You know, you might not have a super on. Doesn't matter about that. If you've got one, if you've got 3 or 4 on, it doesn't matter. You still put the brood box on top of the supers. You don't have to remove the supers. There's your paper underneath. Brew box, queenless colony, queen excluder with a super. Now, in 3 or 4 days, I'll come back in. I'll go into the hive. I'll take that super off. I'll go through this brood box. Any frames that have still got brood on, there was quite a lot of brood in this box actually. I'll put them into a nuke out the way. Sort out the frames, which ones I want to keep, which I don't. Take the paper off, take the super off, take the queen excluder off, go in. If there's any frames in there I want to replace, I can change them with some of the ones that's full of brood, swap them over, or I can just leave the brood box on, let the brood hatch out. The only thing is, if I do that, I'll get bees going up into there and starting to store honey in that brood box instead of the super. So really I want that off with the brood out. Any brood I don't use, because there's plenty of bees there, if I don't use it, I might give it to the birds on the bird table. But there's quite a lot of bees in this colony, quite a lot in this one, so combined it should do well, and hopefully it will increase my honey crop off this hive for the balsam and the blackberry, which is flowing at the minute. So that's it. Simple as that. It's not difficult. It's just a case of deciding whether you want to put your queen right colony on there, on the top or the bottom. As I say, I find it easier. So I know the queen's in there now, nothing's going to change. When I take all these off, I know she's in there somewhere, so I can't lose her. So if she was in there, she could be anywhere when you start faffing about. You could lose her. It's not worth it. Just put her in the bottom.